Answer your attendance. Afla,
Present, Miss.
Ajmina, Amaya,
Present, Miss.
Atulia, Drishya, Jyotish,
Present, Miss.
Kartik,
Present, Miss.
Kavya,
Present, Miss.
Nachiket, Neeraj, Rangeet, Vaishnav, Anjali, Shruti. Ajmina is there?
Yes, Miss.
Atulya,
Yes, Miss.
Drishya,
Present, Miss.
Neeraj, Rangeet,
Miss.
who's that? Neerajana, Rangeet, Vaishnav,
Present, Miss.
Anjali, and Shruti. Okay. So, morning class, we were dealing with the random access protocols. Okay. So, I had told the different types of random access protocol. One is called the CSMA, Carrier Sense Multiple Access, and the other type is the CSMA CD, Carrier Sense Multiple Access with Collision Detection. Now, how does this work? Now, what is the flow chart for the CSMA CD procedure? Now, here, whenever a station has a frame to send, what it will do is it will set the backoff parameter n to 0. I have told what is backoff parameter. So each station, so in order to avoid the, not to avoid, so if something happens, the data is collided. Now what is the procedure they are doing it? So they will wait for a random amount of time, that is nothing but the backoff time. So initially, when a station has a frame to send, they will set the backoff parameter to 0. Now, making use of any of the persistence strategy, it senses the line. Okay, so we have studied the three different types of persistence methods. One is the non-persistent, one persistent, and the p-persistence. Okay, so if any one of the, they will make use of any one of the persistence strategy and they will sense the line. Okay, now after sensing the line, if it does not hear a collision, they assume that, okay, it was a successful transmission. The whole frame is sent and the transmission is successful. Now, what happens if a station hears a collision? So, what it will do is, it will send a jam signal. So, jam signal, it is there to inform the other stations about this situation, what had happened, and alert them that the collision has occurred. Okay, so when once the collision is happening, the station will send a jam signal and it informs the other station about the situation and also alert them that the collision has occurred. So all the station, they discard the packet, the frame that they have received. Now what it will do? It will increment the value of backoff to 1. Initially, it was set to 0. After that, it will be incrementing by 1. So the value of the backoff parameter, now it will be 1. Now again, it will check if the value of the backoff limit has reached the maximum value. Usually the backoff limit, they will keep it as 15. That means 15 times you can check whether the line is idle or if a collision is happening. So if this value exceeds the limit, it means that the station has tried enough and they have to abort the process. Okay, many times they have tried, but collision is happening, so they have to stop the transmission. Now, if the value has not exceeded the limit, now the station, it waits for a random amount of time or a back of time and it senses the line again. Okay, so this is how CSMA CD handles the collision. CSMA, you are not having that procedure. What happens when a collision is happening? Okay, so but CSMA CD, if the collision happens, what each station does. Okay, so I will tell once again. So if a station, if it has a frame to send, first thing is it will set the backup parameter to 0. Now making use of any of the persistence methods, it will sense the line. Okay, now after that, it will send the frame and it will wait whether to see whether any collision has happened or not. So if it has not happened, it assumes that it was a successful transmission. Now, if collision is happening, what happens is it will send a jam signal to inform others about the situation. Now, the backoff parameter is incremented. Started with 0, so it is incremented to 1. Now, again, they will check whether the limit has reached. Okay, so if the limit is not reached, then again, they will wait for a backoff time and then senses the line. But if the backoff limit is reached, then that means the meaning is many attempts they have tried. Okay, so the station should abort this process or the transmission process. Understood? CSMA CD procedure. So random access protocol, CSMA, you didn't have any collision detection method. It was the, so CSMA CD, you are making use of an extra algorithm to see what happens when a collision is happening. So you are making use of if collision happens, you need to send the frame again. Okay, so you have to wait for a random amount of time also. So how much time you have to wait is depending upon the backoff parameter. So initially the backoff parameter is set. After that, it will try. If collision happens, some jam signal is sent and they will check whether the limit has reached or not. If the limit is not reached, then again they will sense the line and do the transmission process. Okay, so this is about the CSMA CD process. Now this CSMA CD process is usually implemented in traditional Ethernet or traditional LANs, local area network, which you are going to study after a few minutes. So this access method used in LANs are the CSMA CD. Local area networks are the CSMA CD method. Okay. Now, the last type of random access method is called the CSMA CA procedure. CSMA CA. That means carrier sense multiple access collision avoidance. So here, collision is not happening. It is avoiding the collision. Okay, so collision is not happening in this. It is avoiding. There is no collision in this. It is trying to avoid that collision. Now this CSMA CA procedure is used in wireless LANs. CSMA CA, this procedure, this access method is used in wireless LANs. Now how does this work? So here I have told there is no collision, it avoids the collision. So what the initial step is, by making use of any of the persistence strategy, the station will sense the line. So if the line is idle, it will send the frame. Okay. So, if the line is idle, what it will do is it will wait for inter-frame space. IFS means inter-frame space, means it is nothing but the waiting period between the transmission of frames. So if the station finds its line idle, it waits an IFS amount of time. The meaning is it is the waiting period between the transmission of frames, or the time period between the completion of transmission of the last frame and the starting of the next frame. You have a gap there. once the frame is finishing and then the starting of the next frame, that gap is called it as the inter-frame gap. So the station will wait for that much amount of time. Okay, it again then waits a random amount of time. After that, it sends the frame. So once it sends the frame, it will set a timer. Okay, so it waits for an acknowledgement before the timeout value. Now, if the acknowledgement is received before the timeout value, it was a successful transmission. Now, what happens if the acknowledgement is not received? If it is not receiving the acknowledgement, it assumes that something has gone wrong. Now, what are the cases there? Whether the data can be lost or the acknowledgement can be lost. That is what we have studied in the earlier case, two cases. The data is lost or the acknowledgement is lost. So what it does is it will increment the backoff value. Started with a backoff to 0, it increments its backoff value. It again checks whether the backoff limit has reached or not. If it is not reached, again, it will wait for a backoff time and resenses the line. Okay, so the collision is avoided in this case, CSMA-C. So wireless LANs makes use of this type of access method. So I repeat, CSMA-CA is carrier sense multiple access collision avoidance. In this type of procedure, there is no collision. It avoids the collision. Now, how it avoids the collision is initially when a station has a frame to send, it set its backoff parameter to 0. Now, making use of any of the persistence strategy, what you have gone through, it will sense the line. So once after sensing the line, it waits for a inter-frame space or for a waiting period between the transmission of the frames. Okay, so that waiting period is called as the inter-frame space. And also again, it will wait for a random amount of time. So after again waiting, it will send the frame. So once it sends the frame, it sets a timer value. Now, before the timeout is reached, if it is receiving the acknowledgement from the receiver, it was a successful transmission. Otherwise, the backoff limit is incremented. I mean, they will check whether the limit has reached, or again, the backoff time is they will wait for a backoff time, then the same process is repeated. Okay, so you this increases the efficiency of the network. So CSMA-CD collision is not happening. They are trying to avoid it at any cost. But our collision won't happen. So a lot of waiting processes there in CSMA-CA procedure. Okay, understood what is the difference between CSMA-CA and CSMA-CD. Now, when the difference is asked, you have to write a flow chart and then you have to explain what is CSMA-CD and what is CSMA-CA. Okay, so morning class, I started with the random access method or the medium access method. It is one of the function of the data link layer, that is the lower sublayers function. And what it does is it will, the conflict should not happen. So how you can avoid that conflict when all these stations, it is dealing with the multi-point connection. That means if you have many stations connected sharing a common link, then collision can happen. Okay, now what are the different methods in order to detect the collision or avoid the collision? They are known as the random access protocols. So each station has to follow a procedure before sensing the line or once they want to transmit the data. Okay, so you can have 4 categories of random access protocol. One is multiple access, second one is CSMA, the third one is CSMA-CD, and fourth one is CSMA-CA. CSMA, carrier sends multiple access. It eliminates, it reduces the collision, but it won't eliminate it. Okay, and you are sensing the carrier and then you are transmitting it. Okay, sense before transmit. That is the concept of CSMA. Now, little more advanced version of that is collision. Once collision happens, what you have to do it. That is CSMA-CD dealt with that. Now, how you can avoid the collision, and CSMA-CA will take care of that. Okay, Understood? Okay, so the second module, mainly it was dealing with the physical layer and the data link layer of the internet model. Physical layer, you have gone with guided and unguided medias. You have gone into different types of transmission medias like coaxial cable, twisted pair, fiber optics, etc. After that, we jumped into data link layer where we dealt with two main functions, data link control and the medium access control. Data link control, we have gone with framing, error control, flow control mechanisms. I hope you, when I tell each word, you just recollect what you have learned. Okay, and today we have learned about the second function, that is the medium access controls. Okay, now what are the different types of procedures that each station has to do when they want to transmit the data such that the conflict can be avoided. Okay, now you are going to a new topic. I told the CSMA CD as well as CSMA CA you are using in wired LAN as well as wireless LAN. CD is used in wired LANs and CA procedure is used in wireless LAN. Now you are going to study in detail the local area network, the wired LANs. Okay. So let me change the slide. So hope you can see the slides, starting with local area network. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Okay. Now, who will tell me what is a local area network? Already we have seen the categories of networks. You have various categories like LAN, WAN, MAN, etc. And I have told what is LAN. You have learned about the different categories also. Now, who will be telling? Vaishna. Vaishna is there? Vaishna is not there. Okay. Rangeet is there? Rangeet? Rangeet? Not there. See, if you're not answering, I will be marking absent only in my register. Then Anjali?
Miss.
Yes. Define what is a local area network.
സ്മോൾ ഏരിയയിലുള്ള നെറ്റ്വർക്കിന് സ്മോൾ ഏരിയയിൽ കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ തമ്മിൽ ബന്ധിപ്പിക്കുന്ന ഒരു, അതായത് ഒരു ബിൽഡിംഗ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു സ്ഥലത്ത്.
Tell it in English. How frame a sentence and tell.
Okay, miss.
Local area network is?
It is a single room building.
It is a single room building. What is there in the single room building?
It is connected to the other.
നോക്കി പറയുവാണോ?
The computer networks that connected computer within a limited area.
Okay, so LAN is a computer network that is designed for a limited geographic area, such as a building or a campus. So LAN is nothing but it is a local area network, or where very many nodes will be connected, and that will be limited to a small geographical area. It can be inside a college campus or any campuses or inside a building. Okay. Now, So local area network is, you can also tell it as a data communication system that allows a number of independent devices to communicate directly with each other in a limited geographic area. I have told you have many nodes or many stations that are connected and all are independent of each other. So you have an autonomous connections. Okay, so all the nodes, whatever you are connecting, they are independent to work also. So if you can call it as a, when they are connected through a link, you can call it as a local area network. So it is a data communication system that allows number of independent devices to communicate directly with each other in a limited geographic area. Okay, now you have got basically 4 basic architectures of this LAN. One is called as the Ethernet. Very, very important, this topic. Mostly NSAs will be coming from this part. Okay, so the 4 main basic architectures of local area network are the Ethernet. Second one is the token bus. Third one is token ring. And fourth one is the fiber distributed data interface. Or in short, you can call it as FDDI. So in your syllabus, you have to study the first architecture, that is the Ethernet architecture. Now, the first 3 architecture, that is Ethernet, token bus and token ring, they are the standards of IEEE. Already in the first module, you have seen what are standards and protocols. So one standard is IEEE, and this Ethernet, token bus and token ring, they are the standards of IEEE. And they are having a project. That project is called it as 802. So all these 4 things, it will come under the part of the project 802. But FDDI is an ANSI standard. ANSI means American National Institute of Standardization. Okay, so the project is called it as 802, and they are the standards of IEEE. Now, when you are comparing a LAN with the OSI model, already you have learned all these things. So OSI model, you have got 7 different layers, and the change, the IEEE has subdivided the data link layer into 2. One is called it as the logical link control, and the other one is called it as the medium access control, LLC or and MAC. Okay, so when you are comparing LAN with the OSI model, the IEEE project 802, it has divided the data link into 2 sublayers, logical link control and the medium access control. Earlier classes, I have told it as data link control. Now, what is the differences? In IEEE project 802, the flow control, error control, and a part of framing duties are collected into one single layer. There I told data link control means 3 important functions: framing, frame control, flow control, and error control. Okay, but here they, in their project, what it is difference is the framing part is done in both the layers. The framing duty or framing is handled in 2 layers. That is the logical link control layer and also in the medium access control layer. Okay, so logical link control means it is an IEEE 802 where how it is defined is the flow control, error control, and part of the framing duties. It is done in the, it is collected, it is formed into a single layer, and that layer is called it as the logical link control layer. When you are comparing with DLC, don't confuse. Framing is a part of this, only a part of framing duties is performed in this logical link control, and half is done in the MAC layer. That is the difference. Okay, so this is now you have got various identifications for each of these projects. Now 802.3, it is nothing but the Ethernet. That number is very, very important. 802.3 is nothing but the Ethernet architecture. 802.4 is the token bus, and 802.5 is the token ring. Okay, that is how it is named under project 802. Now in your syllabus, you have to study about 802.3, that is nothing but the Ethernet. Okay, now this is just a generation, 3 generations of Ethernet. You can just see in the diagram. First generation, you can call it as the traditional Ethernet. After that, the fast Ethernet is there. Then advanced version is the gigabit Ethernet. Now, what is the difference between all these things is in the data rate. So traditional Ethernet, it supports a data rate of 10 Mbps. Fast Ethernet, it is 100, and gigabit is 1000 Mbps. And also the logical link control, it is common for all the 3 generations of Ethernet. But the MAC layer, it is separate for each. Okay, so you can see in the diagram, the logical link control, it is common to all the 3 generations of Ethernet, or it is common to all the IEEE LANs, like token bus or token ring. The logical link control functions, it remains the same. But the MAC control is independent. So it is, you will have different LANs and each has got a different MAC function. That is the meaning of that diagram. Okay, so local area network is, it is a computer network that is designed where the nodes are connected in a limited geographic area and that can be extended to a small building or a campus. The main important function is to share the resources, and also you can have 4 basic architectures of this LAN. One is the Ethernet, token bus, token ring, and the fiber distributed data interface. The first 3 belongs to the IEEE standard, and the project 802. And what is the difference here? It is in IEEE project 802, data link layer is divided into 2. One is logical link control and another one is the medium access control. Logical link control means the framing duty is taken care by 2 layers. One is the logical link and the medium access control. Okay, now the different notations of that project is 802.3. It is the Ethernet, and 802.4 is the token bus, and 802.5 is the token ring. Okay, now you are going to deal with the Ethernet network. Very, very important Ethernet network. Now, what is an Ethernet? Ethernet is a media access method that allows all hosts on a network to share the same bandwidth of a link. Okay, so it is an access method. It allows what all stations or hosts or nodes, what are it is being connected, they share the same bandwidth of a link. Now, what is its popularity? It is easy to implement. You can troubleshoot it easily. You can add new technologies into it, like fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet, to the existing network infrastructure. You will have a traditional Ethernet or an existing infrastructure, and you can add on the things. New technologies can be added without much difficulty. Okay, so that is the popularity of Ethernet. Now, it uses the data link and physical layer specifications of the OSI model. Okay, now, what are the categories of this 802.3? I hope you all are not sleeping. Atulya? Rangeet is there? Rangeet? Rangeet, Vaishna.
Miss.
You were here from the beginning?
Late 2 minutes.
And 2 minutes. Okay. Shruti is there? Yeah. Tell me, what are the 4 basic architectures of LAN?
Ethernet, token bus,
Okay.
token ring, fiber distributed data.
Which is the standard for these first 3? Who has framed the standard for the first three architecture?
Ethernet.
Karthik. Karthik.
Amisa.
Para. Who has framed which standard is for the three basic architectures like Ethernet, token bus, and token ring? It's based on which standard?
LAN.
Standard. I have told they comes under the project 802 of what? Karthik, I have told four basic architectures: Ethernet, token bus, token ring, and FDDI. The first three belongs to which standard? And here,
IEEE.
okay, I stand. Okay, and the data link layer is divided into how many sublayers? Jyotish? Okay, Karthik can mute the phone. Jyotish?
Two.
What are they? What are the two sublayers of data link layer according to project 802?
Logic link control.
Yes,
Medium access control.
medium access control. Okay. Now, what are the numbers given for the project for Ethernet? 802 point, what is the version for Ethernet? Not Jyotish, Vaishnav. Vaishnav is there? No, he is not there. Okay. Then Rangit. Tell me. Ethernet comes under which project number? Project 802 point. You have got different versions of 802, right?
3
The architectures of LAN, that is IEEE 802 project.
802.
What is the number of Ethernet architecture? 802, 802 point 3. Adana parne. Okay, so 802.3 is the version for that Ethernet network. Okay, now you are going to deal with the categories of IEEE 802.3. Generally, you can have two different categories. One is the base.
802.3.
Okay.
3.
One is the baseband, the other
3.
one is the. Okay. Now listen. So you can have two categories of project 802.3. One is the baseband and the other one is the broadband. So baseband, they make use of Manchester encoding techniques, and broadband, they make use of PSK modulation technique. Okay. Now, what are the common baseband implementation? The common baseband implementation can be categorized into 10 base 5, 10 base 2, 10 base T, and 10 base FL. These are the common baseband implementation. 802.3 can be implemented in two ways. One is the baseband implementation, the other one is the broadband. So under baseband, you can have various categories like 10 base 5, 10 base 2, 10 base T, and 10 base FL. What is all this? So 10 base 2, the meaning is, now you just understand what is the meaning of that. 10 base 2 means it supports 10 Mbps, data rate of 10 Mbps. It makes use of baseband technology, and the length is extended to 185 meter, that is approximately 200 meters, so that 2 is given there. And it is known as ThinNet, Thin Ethernet. In short, you can call it as ThinNet. Okay, you're going to study in detail with all these things. So now just you understand 10 base 2. The meaning is 10 Mbps, baseband technology, length is extended to 200 meter or 185 meters. Now 10 base 5 means 10 Mbps, baseband technology up to 500 meter in length, and that is called it as ThickNet, Thick Ethernet, or in short, you can call it as ThickNet. Now the third one is 10 base T. 10 base T means 10 Mbps baseband, and it uses of category 3 twisted pair wire. Already we have studied what are the different categories of twisted pair cable, and here they are using category 3 twisted pair wiring. Okay, so here the device must be connected to hub or switch, that I'll tell once I explain that 10 base T in detail. And the fourth one is 10 base FL, that is 10 Mbps optical fiber Ethernet, and make use of a star topology. Okay, so these are the different baseband implementations of Ethernet. One is 10 base 2, 10 Mbps baseband with length 200 meter, and 10 base 5, 10 Mbps baseband with 500 meter, known as ThickNet. And the third category is 10 base T, that is make use of twisted pair wiring, and 10 base FL is the fiber optic cable, or it uses of star topology. Okay, so the next class I'll be just explaining what is 10 base 5, 10 base 2, and 10 base T, etc. What is the frame format of each Ethernet baseband implementations. Okay, so I'll wind up today. Today, what we have gone through is the local area network. The main architecture, you can call it as Ethernet, and it comes under IEEE project 802.3. IEEE has divided the data link layer into two. One is logical link layer, and the other one is the medium access control layer. Logical link control means it takes care of flow control, error control, and part of framing. The framing duty, it is handled in both the layers, logical link control as well as the MAC layer. Okay, now you have got two classifications of 802.3. One is baseband, the other one is broadband. Under baseband, you can have many categories like 10 base 5, 10 base 2, FL, and T. Now, what is all this? You will be studying in detail in the next class. Okay, so Vaishna is there, Anjali is there, and Shruti.
Yes, miss.
Okay. So tomorrow at 10 o'clock, all of you must come online. I'll be conducting a quiz. It is only for 15 to 20 minutes. It is 15 minutes only. You have to spend that time tomorrow. Okay, is it okay for you? 10 o'clock. Or should I keep it at 8 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, okay. So 10 o'clock sharply, all the 15 students must come online, and I will be issuing the quiz, and only 15 minutes I'll be taking your time. You don't have to worry much about your time. 15 minutes you have to spend. And next week I'll be giving, the module 2 is going to complete. 2 more topics are there, and unit test will be there by next week. So start preparing this holidays, Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, read the textbook. Today's class, I'll be the YouTube video link I'll be forwarding through Limbase, and also the PPT I'll be forwarding through Limbase. Go through it today itself. Read the things from the textbook. Okay. Now, thank you. Other staff is waiting, so thank you.